Bob Stevenson is primarily known for his Paying for College seminar given throughout the district, as well as serving on the budget and bond committees of the district, the College Focus Committee when developing the 5-year education plan, and the Bunker Hill School PTA. He has also served on the Planning and Zoning Commission of the City of Bunker Hill Village and the School Board of St. Cecilia's School. Mr. Stevenson has been a practicing CPA in the district for 30 years, and he and his wife have 3 children. Mr. Stevenson will now speak on behalf of the Board of Trustees.
Thank you, Mr. Lakin. Congratulations. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, I want to congratulate the members of the class of 2014. I would also like to welcome your family and friends who are here today. And I would also like to congratulate the faculty and staff of Memorial High School. Class, when you leave Memorial High School, you will begin a journey down the path of financial literacy. Financial literacy is not only important for the financial well-being of your future family, it is also important for the financial well-being of your country. Up to this point, you've primarily studied your core high school curriculum like math, English, history, science, and some electives, which are all important. But today I'd like to engage the topic of financial literacy with a thought-provoking question. Why are your parents more successful financially than your grandparents? It's been my experience that my generation is more successful financially than my parents' generation, and there is a reason for that, and that reason will give you a snapshot into what the future holds for you. This begins by understanding that your grandparents came up under the policies of President Franklin Roosevelt. At that time, our highest marginal tax rate was 91%. There was very little economic growth in the private sector. In fact, if you were lucky enough to have a job, it wasn't uncommon to keep it for 30 years. And it stands to reason. If the federal government is getting 91 cents out of every dollar of profit, then businesses are not opening new stores, building new factories, hiring new people, or promoting anyone. Then in the early 1960s, President John Kennedy lowered the rate from 91% to 70%. The economy picked up a little, but not enough to make a difference. In the mid-1970s, President Jimmy Carter signed the Crude Oil Windfall Profits Tax Act of 1976. This legislation took the economic incentive out of drilling for oil and gas domestically, and independent oil and gas producers in Texas and surrounding states poured concrete down the wellhead because it no longer made economic sense to take that risk. And America went from being 10% dependent on foreign oil to being 50% dependent on foreign oil overnight. We got long lines at the pump and double-digit inflation, double-digit interest rates, and double-digit unemployment. Then in 1980, the American people elected President Ronald Reagan. Within months of taking office, he signed the Economic Recovery Tax Act of 1981. This lowered the highest marginal rate from 70% to 50%. The economy began to steadily improve, and in 1984, President Reagan was reelected by winning 49 out of 50 states, the biggest landslide in the history of our country. He won 525 out of 535 electoral votes. With that mandate, he was able to get through Congress the Tax Reform Act of 1986, which lowered the highest marginal rate from 50% to 28%, and thus began the longest and most sustained expansion of our economy in the history of America. 20 million new jobs were created. Thank you. Thank you. It stands to reason, if small businesses and individuals are able to keep 72 cents out of every dollar of profit, then small businesses are going to open new stores, start new businesses, and hire and promote new people. And to those who criticized him, President Reagan would say, the best social program is a job. He would also say, a rising tide lifts all ships. Our generation had unprecedented economic opportunity something our parents didn't have. Your dad isn't more successful financially than your grandpa because he's smarter. No way. Your dad had much greater economic opportunity to pursue his dreams and provide for his family and his future. Now, America is going back to the failed policies of the past, and this is where your future comes into play. I want you to understand that God has a plan for you, and connected to that plan, He has given you a gift. It's up to you to find your gift, and the best way to find your gift is a quality education. Don't major in something because it's easy. Push yourself. Work hard to find your gift. If your major area of study has a professional license, then after graduation, get that license. If you major in accounting, take the CPA exam. If you major in finance, take the CFA exam. If you go into technology, then get Microsoft certified or Cisco certified. Stretch yourself. Work hard to find your gift. And when you find it, you will love what you do. And if you love what you do, you will never have to work a day in your life. I'll conclude with a quote from President Reagan. He would say, "Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction." He would also say, "America is the last best hope for freedom for mankind on this earth. If we lose freedom in America, it's gone forever." And historians were right. Those who had the most to lose did the least to stop it. So I'll conclude again by saying this: get educated, come back home, and be willing to serve. God bless you, class of 2014, and go Mustangs.